Well, it's another day, which I am so happy to be here for. Thank you for this day. Good morning, first grade, are you here? Yes, Mr. Coulter, we are here. I hope you stand up and sing that with me when I am singing it, so that I can feel your energy maybe from a distance even, my heart to yours. Today, we will do morning verse to begin with, as always. The sun, with loving light, makes bright for me each day. The heart, with sacred power, gives strength unto my limbs. In sunlight shining clear, I am reverent. The strength of humankind has so graciously been planted in my soul, that I, with all my might, may love to work and learn. Toward us comes light and strength. From us rise love and thanks. Yeah. I think I like to go right into a song rather than doing the day and the date. We'll just switch that around a tiny bit. I like to sing right the very next thing. Feels good. So we're always standing up, and singing is better standing up most of the time, unless we've got a long thing to practice. So, morning has come. Are you singing with me? Night is away. Doing the hand motions. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. When you sing that, actually feel like you're welcoming somebody. Like, give it the really best welcome you can give it. Morning has come. Night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Oh, I like... I'll try it again. Oh, I like to rise when the sun she rises early in the morning. I like to hear the small birds singing merrily upon their way. Hooray for the life of a Kona kid, tumbling in the sunlit waves. Oh, I like to rise when the sun she rises early in the morning. I like to hear the small birds singing merrily upon their way. Hooray for the life of a Kona kid, tumbling in the new mown hay. A little slower, sing with me, here we go. Oh, I like to rise when the sun she rises early in the morning. I like to hear the small birds singing merrily upon their way. Hooray for the life of a Kona kid, tumbling in the hot sunlit waves. All right, that felt better to sing first and then do all this stuff over here. Let's put it over here right now. Let's call it today is, what is today? Wednesday, miércoles, Wednesday, D-A-Y. Spells day. And Wednesday, it's still September. Put a comma there, September. September, I believe it's the 15th today. 15th, to bite your tongue to say that properly. Put another comma, 2020. Today is Wednesday, September 15th, 2020. Will you say it with me? Today is Wednesday, September 15th, 2020. And if you look at those numbers when you say them, and look at those words when we say them, then you will be surprised that little by little that will just sink right in and you will just know it without ever having been really taught it in a different way. One more time, today is Wednesday, September 15th, 2020. In Spanish, hoy es miércoles 15 de septiembre 2020. Hopefully I said that right. I think I did. With me, hoy es miércoles. Say that. Hoy es miércoles. 15. Yeah. 15. Can you say 15? 15. Just try. De septiembre. Can you say septiembre with me? Septiembre 2020. One more time all together. Hoy es miércoles 15 de septiembre 2020. Phew, that takes some concentration. I'll tell you that, for me at least. The next thing I want to do is I want to remind us of the letters we've been studying most recently, the S and the H and the T, which I have yet to put up on the wall, and the S we had a little funny little short tiny poem that we said, and it goes like this. First of all, can you say s like a snake? I'm not sure I've ever heard a snake actually hiss. I'm not sure if that's actually true. They're pretty quiet most of the time. They stick their little tongue out. All right, my sassy sister slapped the silly snake. My sassy sister slapped the silly snake. One more time together. My sassy sister slapped the silly snake. All right. How many S's are in there? No S in mine. My sassy my sassy sister slapped the silly snake. I counted 7. I didn't even plan that. 7. My sassy sister slapped the silly snake. 7. And 6 also starts with S, doesn't it? All right. So I think we looked at all the S items. Yes, I remember we did. And now we have the H, things that begin with H. And we remember that the house in the picture sort of has an H inside of it. I'm not sure everybody saw that. I'll draw it in red so it'll really stand out. Okay, there's a bit of a house, a bit of an H showing up inside that house. And there are many words that you can think of. I can think of an animal that you ride, and we have a whole little box of things to look at this morning that starts with H. But I have another little poem for H, and it goes like this. Hannah's happy hamster hunted honey on the hill. Hannah's happy hamster hunted honey on the hill. 6 sounds in there. That's a strange letter, isn't it? It's a little bit harder to say. Harder. Hannah's happy hamster hunted honey on the hill. And I have another funny one. A helpful hippopotamus helped my hen to hula hoop. Can you imagine a hen hula hooping? And I think it's even harder to imagine a hippo helping a hen to hula hoop. I cannot imagine what that would look like. A helpful hippopotamus helped my hen to hula hoop. And of course there's hay is for horses. Sometimes if someone says, hey, somebody else says, hay is for horses. Kind of a smart alecky comeback, isn't it? Which maybe I shouldn't have taught you, but anyway. I think the main thing is to learn all the fun things that you can use language for, sometimes including a smart aleck can come back with a loving gesture behind it. You would never say that to irritate somebody, but only to give them a smile. All right, counting is next. I think Auntie Jackie and Uncle David will be here today. We will see. All right, counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hope you can do that with your eyes closed in your sleep, forwards and backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is the foundation of math and counting, is to be able to count to 10. And we see we have these 10 fingers that are so helpful. So there's 5 here and 5 here, and that makes 10. Speaking of which, someone was probably out there thinking, wait a minute, he forgot to do that. So now we have a 16th day of school. I'll put a 16 over here. I should have been doing that all along, probably. That's maybe helpful, like the helpful hippo. So we have 1 through 10, and then right after 10, that's the trickiest ones for many people. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Those are the hard ones. Let's start at 10, start at 1, and go right on up all the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right, that was good. We will move right along to whoever's at the door. Let's see. Knock, knock, knock. Is someone at the door? There she comes. Oh,
Can you see me?
there she is.
I have nothing in my hands, so I get to do the bear crawl.
Oh, she can bear walk all the way. Oh, and the bear noise too.
Star. Hi guys. Hi.
Auntie Jackie, good morning.
Mr. Coulter. Good morning, kids. Good morning, first grade friends. I come in empty-handed because we're going to do something today that you might remember. Yesterday I walked in the room right after Mr. Coulter spoke of snakes. And I thought I would demonstrate a very long stick that looked like a snake. Do you remember? I am going to have you guys watch me, try and watch me, use this stick that is on the picker pole. Can you see that? And the reason why I brought it in here, so that is I could use it out the window and reach the mountain apples. Now, as a gardener and a farmer, all I can do is see food. Wherever I go, I look around and I'll hear birds and I hear them, oh, the bird's eating food. And I'll hear bees and I say, are the bees making honey? Because I always like to harvest a yield. I always like to get a little something to take home and share. So as I reach my stick out the window, I'm reaching for the apple, the mountain apple, that is hanging in the tree outside the window. And then we'll look at it together. Oh, there it is. This is such a long stick. I have to look at both ends of it. Oh, did I hit you?
No, hit the computer a little bit. Wow, look at that. Looks yummy. It's a little scarred up, but looks really yummy.
I think a lot of you use use these pickers on your farms, and if not, you got to see me do that. This is a mountain apple. These were growing on the island of Hawaii for a really long time, even before the Polynesian ancestors came. These were growing here, and they're cousins with ohia. So look at the bottom of that. That is like a little star, a four-sided star. And when I look at this mountain apple, I'm curious about what's inside it. And I remember that we've been talking about seeds. So let's see if there's any mountain apple seeds inside this apple. What do you think? Is it going to have some seeds? Oh, it's juicy. Yes, it does.
Can I eat some of that?
Yeah, I washed my hands recently, but you might want to rinse that.
Okay.
And then there is one big seed inside that mountain apple. Wow. So I'm going to take this seed. What would you do with this seed? There's a lot of things you could do with this seed. Mr. Coulter, what do you think that you would do with the seed, or what a first grader might think of doing with the seed? What do you think of that? That's a big one.
Well, judging on how this tastes, I don't know. I would plant it probably if I wanted my own tree, but I would have to ask someone like you, perhaps. Some seeds don't grow like their parent.
Yes, that's a great question. Will
Some
this?
do,
Yeah.
but some don't.
Will this seed make another mountain apple, or will it make something strange?
It should make an mountain apple, I guess.
Should make an mountain apple. I don't know enough about this. I might talk to my kapuna. I might talk to a grandma who knows, or a grandpa. Because what he knows, Mr. Coulter knows, is that if you took an apple seed out of another apple that came from North America, and you tried to put it in the ground to grow it, it wouldn't look like its parent seed. It wouldn't taste like its parent seed, because the parents have mixed, and the genes inside here create something brand new.
It might be good.
Yeah, this one might be good.
Well, even a regular apple could be a good one, or it could be kind of a sour one, or it could be kind of a lumpy, tiny one. But it might be a good one too.
It might be a good one, and that's how new genetics come about. We get a new species when we watch the bees mix their genes, and then we experiment and we grow it. We don't know what's going to happen, but we want to try and grow it anyway. So I am going to take this seed. I'm going to let the fruit dry off of it. I hope no insects come to eat it while I dry it. And then I'm going to put it in a soil pot with a little label so I can watch it grow. And we'll see if they come up. I'm going to go now. Thanks for the time, you guys. I think this is going to be my morning snack.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
And I will I'll get the pole picker at the end of the day.
Okay.
O'clock.
Maybe I'll pick a few more before I go home.
I think he likes it.
I'm always looking for food too.
I know that about you.
And I love eating food that's already there. You don't have to buy it. Some things just really want to grow. And other things, you have to work kind of hard to grow them. That's worth it too, though. Uncle David, are you at the door as well? All right. Let's turn this so we can see who's at the door. Oh, it's Uncle David.
Good morning.
And his shirt says something on it.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. We do a namaste.
Yeah, I usually just a little.
Namaste. Good to see you. Good morning, first grade. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Always to see how you're moving and to move with you. And so, like every class we do, I want you to get up into your house, wherever you are, wherever it's safe to move. You know, you might need to move your chair back or get out. I know one thing too. I have had to mention this to a number of other students. Don't forget to take your headphones off. You might have to unplug them, and so you can hear me. But I had a student the other day that had left their headphones on, and we started doing some jumping jacks, and all I do is see the screen just all over the place. They forgot to take their headphones off and started doing jumping jacks. So make sure you take your headphones off before you do jumping jacks, all right? So today what I want to do is I'm going to teach you our beginning balancing and breathing exercise, okay? So to start off today, I want you to be able to see my toes, because we're going to do we're probably going to do some tiptoeing action, all right?
Is that good?
So does everybody know how to tiptoe? You go on your toes, you see your heels are off the ground, but you're right there on your toes. So I want you to go ahead and just go to your tippy toes for a second and kind of walk around a little bit on your tippy toes. It's kind of a weird feeling actually, but can you walk around on your tippy toes for just a little bit? And then you can come down to your heels again. So what we're going to do is, this is the basic beginning exercise. And we're going to do this when we come in, we'll do this every day. And this exercise is important because not only are we moving, but we're going to be consciously breathing too. We're actually going to breathe and move together, okay? So here's how it works. It's very simple, okay? And I'll show you. We'll do it together. So when I do it, you do it as well, okay? So we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose and go up on top of our toes and spread our arms out wide like this. And then we're going to let our breath go out and we go down at the same time. Now this part's a little tricky because what I want to see if you can do is this. When you go up to your toes and your arms are up, can you bring your hands to your side at the same time your heels touch the ground? It's kind of like a magic trick. It's almost like we're levitating. We're like, oh, we're starting to levitate. And then we want to land on the ground sort of at the same time as our hands. Can you do that? All right, can you try to make your hands touch your sides at the same time that your heels touch the ground? It's kind of hard, actually. It's not actually that easy when you think about it. You kind of have to do slow. Very good. So let's try that again. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Down to our heels. We'll do that again. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And breathe out. Now this next one's going to be a little different. We're going to breathe in through our nose, going all the way up. And this time, I want your palms to turn up to face the sky. Staying on your tippy toes, your palms are now facing up. And we're going to reach all the way above our head. And I'll even scoot back a little bit. All the way above our head, still on our toes. And now we're going to breathe out. And our palms are going to turn down to face the earth. And then we slowly go down. All right? And that was pretty easy, right? That was our balance and breathing exercise. We're going to do that every time we go to class. All right? So I'm going to try it one more time just so you see how it works. So take a deep breath in and out. Breathing in and out. This last one is a weird one. We're going to go up, breathing in, and our palms turn up to face the sky, going all the way above our head, reaching up out of the screen, and breathing out. Now our palms turn down to face the earth, and we slowly go down. Very good. So we'll begin our class every time with that. We'll do a little quick breathing and balancing exercise. Take some balance with your toes, breathing in your movement together. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to do a little bit of some exercises. We're going to start with our star jumps. And you learned last week we did mountain climbers, right? And I believe we also did squats, all right? So I'm going to add one more for us this week. And I'm going to teach you a new exercise, a new activity you can do. And it's very good for your lower body, very good for your legs, all right? So let's start again with our star jumps. We're going to do 20 star jumps. And we'll take a little break. And then we're going to do our mountain climbers and then take a little break. And then this week, instead of doing squats, we're going to do a different exercise, and I'll show you what that is, okay? So let's start. Make sure you get your space, and we're going to do our star jumps. So remember, our star jumps go just like this. You go out like a star and then back in, just like so. Okay, you guys ready? We're going to do 20 of these. Ready? Here we go. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very good. Very good. Take a little deep breath. We're going to breathe a little bit. And also, forgot to mention this, but if you have water, now's a good time to drink a little bit of water. Remember, you're going to drink half of your body weight in ounces. I know that's kind of maybe hard for you to learn right now, but your parents can let you know how much that is. So, going to get ready for our next exercise, which is the mountain climber. If you can remember, it's kind of like climbing a mountain. So you are on the ground, like we're bear walking. You guys remember our bear walk? And all you do is bring one leg up and then back, and then the next leg up and back. And you do that just like so. All right? And so what we'll do, we're gonna do 20 seconds of mountain climbers. All right? You guys ready? Here we go. I'll count it off for us. On your mark, get set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very good. Very good. So if you guys are like me, you might be breathing a little hard right now. Your chest might be beating really fast, so I want you to feel your heartbeat. Can you feel your heartbeat? Mine's going thud, 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 thud.
Mine too. I was off camera, but I was there.
Thud, thud, thud.
With you.
Mr. Coulter is breaking up a sweat right now. He's over here in the corner with his towel wiping off his sweat. So I'm just kidding. He's in good shape. Your teacher's in very good shape. That's because he stays active. That's a very important thing to do, is stay active. Especially right now, we're all at home. We're all sitting around a lot. We're on the computer a lot, I know. And we need to do 60 minutes of activity every day. That could be walking your dog, going on a walk with your parents, doing these exercises. Swimming, surfing, lots of fun things to do. So for our last activity, our last exercise, we're gonna do something, I'm gonna teach you something called a lunge, okay? And a lunge goes just like this. So for a lunge, you're going to find a spot in front of you, and you're gonna take one step out, and you're going to just lunge over, you're gonna take one step down, your knee doesn't necessarily have to touch the ground, and then you go back. And then you use the other foot, stepping forward, bending down, and back. And I don't know if you can tell this or not, but your back should be straight. So if you notice how I'm lunging, my back is straight up and down, not like this. This is poor form. We do not want to do this. You're not gonna get the full benefit of the lunge. So when you lunge, making sure your back is straight and back up, just like so. You know? All right, let's see if we can do 10 lunges. All right, we're gonna do 10 lunges. We'll start off easy, and then as the year progresses, we're probably gonna be doing a lot more, okay? So, you guys ready? We're gonna do 10 lunges. Now, one full lunge is both legs. So I'll show you, I'll count what one is. We go down, this is like half, and then back here, that would be one. That will be one lunge. Okay? So here we go. We're going to start our lunges. Ready? And here we go. So this is 1. And your other leg is 2. Here we go. Going down. And 3. Now if you notice, I put my hand on my leg. That's actually kind of cheating. Let's not touch our legs. 4, down, and 5. If you want to, you can put your arms out in front of you. And 6, arms by your side if you want. And 7, here we go. We're very close to the end. This is 8. And 9, and this is our last one, here we go. And one more leg makes 10, very good. You can shake your legs out, because I know that's a really challenging lower body. All working on those really strong muscles in your legs. Your legs are very, very strong muscles, and so it's good that we work those out. It helps you run faster, help you jump higher, all right? Anyway, I had so much fun with you today. I look forward to our next class together, and I'll turn you back over to Mr. Coulter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. So So that was because we also heard Uncle David count to 20 a couple of times, and I was just saying how I think that it's nice. Oops, it's too far away. That we practice that 20 because those teens can be a little confusing. All right. So where were we? I was going to do a little more mathy thing, but time is getting on. I think I will just do this. Put this right here, and I should really put it out of your sight a little bit so I can do some counting with you, and I would like you to pretend that there were, oh yes, this many lollipops growing in the witch's garden. We have some extra ones back there now. This many lollipops, listen, okay? Ready to count them? Did you catch that? Did you count them in your fingers? I'll help you if you didn't. There were this many lollipops growing. And then this many more grew. Ready? Count them with your fingers. How many lollipops were there all together? Well, if you used one hand and then the other hand, you can look at your fingers and tell me right now. Let's do it again in case you didn't do it. Ready? I'll help you this time. This many lollipops were growing. And then this many more grew. So you had this many, and this many more grew, and now you have 10, because 5 and 5 is 10. Say it. 5 and 5 is 10. 5 and 5 is 10. And if I say 5 plus 5 is, you should be able to say 10. 5 plus 5 is 10. Good. All right. I thought that next we would start looking at some of these things that start with these letters, and then we will do our drawing of the letters. Or writing, really, is what it is. So let's get the H things here. There's all kinds of things in the world. Some of them start with H, it turns out. I bet you can think of some. Here's the H box here. And here we have a very tiny hat. You say them as soon as you can think of it. Horse. This is a helmet, but a kind of a gnome-sized helmet there. Another small hat to keep the sun off your head. And here, something you have right here that goes thump, 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 thump. Here's a heart. And here's something that goes, you know the sound I'm trying to make? A helicopter. Helicopter. And oh good, it's a hippopotamus. I wonder what it would be like to see one of those in real life. I think they're humongous, huge, humongous, huge hippo. We have another kind of helmet, and that's about it, except for we do have an uppercase, a capital H. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do after that is let's look at the T things. There's a lot of them in this thing here. There's the T's, uppercase and lowercase. They made their lowercase a little differently than how I make mine. Here we have a tray. And here we have a big truck. Truck. Tiger. I hope you are saying these words when you see them. As soon as you see it, say tiger. You might not know what this is. I have not seen very many of these in Hawaii. This has 3 wheels, and so it's called a tricycle. Tricycle. Oh, a lot of these things start with TR. Tray. Truck. Here's a tractor. Here's a broken tennis racket. Here is a small wooden train. Another TR. Oh, we call this a honu here, don't we? Some people might call this a turtle or a sea turtle. Turtle. Oh, here we do have these in Hawaii as well, and other places. That's a turkey. And that happens to be a tom turkey. A tom turkey means a boy turkey. And for some reason, they're all called tom turkeys. And he puts his tail feathers out and makes some funny noises sometimes. Here is, I don't know what that is. It looks like a toy airplane, but I don't think of that. Maybe, oh my, here's something that we all make use of pretty often. Yep, it's a toilet. Yep. Does that make you giggle? Oh my, this is a gigantic, this is one of those, it's a model of a tooth and an old-fashioned telephone. A telephone. We just call it a phone now, but it's really called a telephone, a long word for it. And here is the lowercase t without the curl at the bottom. Here is the uppercase T. And here is a number that starts with T. We were just talking about the number 10. Does that look like a 10 to you, or does it need to go this way? I think it needs to go that way. Depends on whether that's flipped around or not for you. All right, that's about it. There's another tiger in here. That's nice. Exciting to have a tiger. All right, so many things, all the things that start with a t, and other things that start with a. Some of them start with a tr sound. Now we're going to make that drawing on the board. We also have been working a lot with S. It's kind of a lot of letters all at once, but I'm excited to get through the alphabet so we can start spelling some stuff and writing some things and reading, of course, too. So once we know all our letter sounds, we can really go to town with reading, as they say. Really do a lot. Today, in fact, we are going to do here our main lesson page. Okay, ready for your main lesson page work? I'll leave the H in the picture as well. I'm going to erase this main lesson page for T and H. And we did not yet do an S, I don't think, in our main lesson book. I have to check. But I hope you're practicing your S, and I don't want to put it in the main lesson book until I'm sure you have it just right. So here's my main lesson page. I'm going to draw a line across the middle, like before, right to the edge of my page, wherever that is for you. And on the top, I may as well, let's do the border first. Do a border. I'm going to use orange this time. We have block crayon. Uh-oh, I broke it. Take your time. Pause the video if I'm going too fast. Wouldn't that be nice if you could just slow your teacher down with a click of a button? I guess that's the one advantage to this moment when we are all learning from a distance, that you can just pause me. Mr. Coulter, you're going too fast, you're going too fast. Just pause me. Don't have to worry about it. It's funny. All right. It's funny to me, at least. At least I can laugh at my own jokes, even if nobody else does, right? All right. T and H. I'm going to start right near the top, or maybe even at the top this time, since my border is pretty wide. There's my capital T, tip top, the tip top of the tower. Now, I know the lowercase letters, a lot of them are only down here, but this one, and a lot of them start way up here, like the H will start way at the top, but the T starts a little below, and I like to make a little curve at the bottom. You can go back up a little bit even. And then, if this is the middle, that's where I put my line. Pause me if I go too fast. And here's the H. I will also, I think that's a little less space up there. I'm going to start right here. I go down, I move over, I go down, I make my two parallel lines, and I make one more line across the two of them. And now I have my capital H. I start at the top for my lowercase, right there. And I go down and bounce, come back up the same way. Yeah, I'm still there, and then I curve, and I kind of plan it so the top of my curve is about the same place as that, about in the middle. All right, so that's capital H and lowercase h, capital T and lowercase t, and then you would choose another color and do a background. With your crayons, you may be able to go right over, but if I do it, it kind of messes up my white line and my chalk. You could probably go right over. And I will just take my time to do this so that you don't feel like you have to rush either. But if I finish before you, you just leave it and go back and do it later. Hungry horse. How do you do? How are you? Hamster. Hippo. Hippie. Hooray, hooray. Hooray for hippies? That's kind of an H sound too. Have a good day. Have hips. I have hips. Put your hands on your hips, like your sassy sister might. Hands on your hips. Oh, now we're on to T though. I should have switched. Toenails and toes and tippy toes, like Uncle David taught us today. Today, Uncle David taught us how to stand on our tiptoes, in case we didn't know how to do that, but also it's a good focusing exercise. All right, there's the T and the H, which I'm tempted to tell you what happens when you almost like, it's not really a magic trick, but it kind of feels like that to me sometimes when two things do something that you didn't expect them to. When you put a T and an H together, you get a different sound, which I've alluded to already when we wrote the date. It's a sound, but we'll get to that later. All right, now we have this and we have that, and now a couple more things. One is if you have some beeswax, you should get it in your hand, or somewhere where it will warm up a little bit. It will warm up in your hands pretty well. So you can hold it in one hand once you have your other things ready. I'm going to hold mine, and if you don't have any yet, then get some here or somewhere, and we will make some letters with that as well. But for now, I want to do one more form drawing, which will also help us with our, I'm gonna bring the camera back over here. It will also help us making our S shape, which is, I think, one of the hardest ones to make really nicely because of the turning and twisting that it does. So this form drawing looks like this. It's a line down the middle like before. You can just watch me do it, or you can practice with some scratch paper right now if you want to. And this one, usually I always start everything at the top, but I'm going to do something different because this one's really hard to finish if you do it that way. I'm gonna go, not a curve all the way there. You can watch me do it once. I'm gonna curve. Now I'm not gonna come in here. I'm gonna come in about right there, kind of like when we did the T, not in the middle, not at the top, but it's gonna come in here. So I'm gonna curve up this way. Gonna come in right there, and then I'm going to do a little loop-to-loop, like that. That is tricky. Tricky. Out. I'm gonna keep my eye on this one when I do the other one. This is very challenging, so don't get discouraged. Or at least if you do get discouraged, recover. Recover from being discouraged, so get better. Getting discouraged is something that just happens sometimes. That reminds me of a violin a little bit, or a cello. So that's a tricky one. You can practice that, and I recommend, now that you've seen me do it, you practice with your finger, and then you do it in yellow. Once you have the one side, the second side is even harder to do in a way because trying to match it. I mean, if you make a mistake on this one, it's not a big deal, at least nothing to compare it to. But this one, when you do this one, you have to kind of keep your eye, your side eye on this one, and imagine yourself doing both at the same time. In fact, that's probably a good place to start as a practice. Start like this with your fingers there and go out and in and a loop-to-loop. Try it again. So imagine your line down here, one hand here and one hand here. Go out and up and loop the loop. So that will take some practice. We will put that in our main lesson book tomorrow if you practice it. And in the meantime, we are going to write something. We're going to write Hansel and Gretel. You can copy it from me. And it can go, my drawing is awfully full. I think I am going to write it on the next page in my main lesson book, which of course would be this blackboard here. So if you could turn to the next main lesson page right after your T and your H, or if you want to, you can, let's see if it will work to put it right on top of Hansel and Gretel. It's Hansel and Gretel. You will need a dark color if you were going to do it in your main lesson book. I think I will do it right in my main lesson book for you so that it is a little more like you are doing, so that I am doing what you are doing, and it makes a little more sense maybe that way. So I'm going to pick my dark blue, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to write it here, and then I'm going to write it again on the blackboard so you can see how the letters really look bigger. H, A, N, S, E, L. I'm going to put a little plus instead of writing the word and. I'm going to put a little plus right there. Gretel. G-R-E-T-E-L. Go, Gretel has the same number of letters. So underneath the H, I'm going to put a G, R. If you're not doing this yet, that's fine. I'm going to write it really big over here. E, T, E, L. That's not so bad going right over the picture, I don't think. Now with chalk, nice and big so you can see it better. Hansel and Gretel. Hansel, H, A, N, S. I'm going to run out of room, which I have to erase this today anyway. Hansel, plus underneath here where it's between the N and the S, I put the plus down there. And G for Gretel, Gretel underneath the H. People make their G's a little differently. Sometimes I just go like that much is enough. G, R, E, T, E, L. All right, again, you could pause that and come back to it if you are still working on it, or you can finish it. So my beeswax is nice and warm. My hand is kind of chalky, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to form it into a snake. A longish yellow. Yours is probably a little smaller than this, but I have bigger hands, so I'm got myself a bigger piece. And then I'm going to form it into an S. So that's a forwards S for me. I think it's backwards for you. Let me see if I can tell. Well, who takes care of you can help you with that. When you hold it in your hand, it should look like that. And that is a good way, I think, to get ready to draw our S, to make it slithering snake. All right. Now, while you are finishing that up, I will read one more story here. And this is F. F is for fox, it says here. Tom and June followed Tiptoes and the gnomes through the forest. The children lagged behind because they were stopping to listen to the breeze blowing in the treetops. It's been getting windier by the minute. I wonder if they're taking us to see the letter F, said Tom to June. Tiptoes, called Juneberry, are you showing us the letter F today? That's where we're going, said Tiptoes. We'll hike up Running River to the falls. By the time they left the forest, the wind was tossing the meadow grasses about. It tugged at their clothes and hair. They passed the great oak tree where Tiptoes lived. The tree looked so majestic and tall, with its strong branches and crown of leaves fluttering in the wind. As they went by the garden below the farmhouse, Tiptoes and the gnomes stopped. There's Big F, said Pinecone, pointing. Where? Asked Tom. The flag, said Pepperpot. Your dad's flag makes a perfect F. One day, Farmer John had the idea of making a farm flag. It was blue and white, with a blue line on top and a blue on the top and bottom, and a white field in between. The top blue line is for the blue snowy mountains in the distance, said Farmer John. The bottom blue line is for the blue sea where Running River ends its journey. And what's the white for? Asked Juneberry. That's for the peace we've found in the valley, said Farmer John. He tied his flag to a long pole and planted it in the garden. There it fluttered ever since, especially on windy days. They wandered on, keeping a sharp lookout for F shapes. Juneberry found one in 2 flowers growing from a long stem. Tom found one in a thorny twig from a hawthorn tree. The land began to rise, and Running River picked up speed. They passed the rapids and came to the waterfall. It wasn't a big waterfall, only as tall as a child, but it splashed and sang and made the air feel cool. Tom and June took off their shoes and dabbled their feet in the water. They liked being at this spot. We'll sit on the riverbank and wait, said Tiptoes. If we're lucky, we'll see an F on its way to the mountains. Tom was about to ask what they were looking for, but Tiptoes put her finger on her lips. Just watch, she said. Tom and June waited and watched. So did the gnomes. They could see the water nymphs playing in the waterfall. They dove in and out of the water where it plunged into the river and it foamed white with bubbles. There's some, said Tiptoes suddenly. Where? Asked Tom. They're gone already, said Tiptoes. You have to be quick to see them. Tom and June looked intently at the water. Suddenly June saw them. They flashed silver as they swam up the waterfall. Fish, cried Juneberry. They swam up the waterfall in a flash. That's right, said Tiptoes. Fish. F is for fish in a waterfall. Here, let me show you. And she drew fish leaping up a waterfall in Juneberry's book. She placed an F beside the fish. They waited some more. One fish came and another, leaping and swimming up the waterfall. See, said Tiptoes, drawing again. One fish makes a small F, and many make the large F. Tom and June both drew letters in their books. After that, they headed home. It was getting towards supper, and everyone was hungry. On the way, they saw a fox with a furry tail standing on his hind legs and eating blackberries. There's another F, said Tom, and even though his tummy was rumbling with hunger, he stopped and added, F is for fox to his sketchbook. All right. We have many words that we can now write, but in addition to cab and car, but we will do that tomorrow. So T is for tomorrow, and I hope to teach you again tomorrow. Be well, do good work, keep in touch.